Jeshua, the early years. Ignorance is bliss. Now we begin. And once again, greetings unto you, beloved and precious friends. Is it not true that wherever you look, whether within you or around you, there is but the face of mystery shining back at you? For from the very first have you ever truly known what a single thing is or what it is for? Yet the thoughts within your mind, your perception of things, both within and around you, would lead you to believe that you do indeed know what a thing is and what it is for. You would look upon an object such as a chair, and you decide what that object is and what it is for. You would look upon the rain that falls from the clouds, and you would decide what that thing is and what it is for. Indeed, you would look upon your brother and sister, perceiving something about them, or relating their presence to some past history you've had with them. You would decide who and what they are and what they are for. And when you decide what a thing or a person is for, you then become justified in using that thing or person according to your perception. You would look upon a chair and decide, because it is a chair, it must be for sitting, and I will therefore sit upon it. You will look upon the rain, and as it falls, and deciding that it is called rain, immediately the mind decides what rain is, where it has come from, and what it is for. You therefore act accordingly. And yet even this is not quite consistent, for a farmer would look upon the rain and see it much differently than what you call an athlete playing upon a field on a Saturday afternoon, or a family preparing to go on a picnic. Therefore, what is it that decides for you what a thing is and what it is for? Consciousness, the nature of the mind, is a very slippery indeed, and it requires great vigilance to learn to see, to comprehend, to transcend, to grasp how consciousness, the nature of mind, is operating through you, through the body's senses, in relationship to all created things. But we'll take a slight shortcut. For the things that you look upon when you decide what a thing is and what it is for, you have projected your value system upon these things. Something is already operating in the depth of your consciousness that stimulates an impulse which requires you to shape your experience of what you see and what you believe these things are for, to fit what you most value in the moment. Always, then, what you truly experience is not the thing in itself, not what it may or may not be for within itself. You experience only the boundaries of your own mind, and nothing more and nothing less. There are many who look upon the rain as it falls and see not just that which nurtures the soil which will grow the plant, or they see not that which is interrupting their Sunday excursion to the park. They do not necessarily see that this will change the texture of the grass and the soil so that the athlete might have to slip and fall upon his rear end occasionally, but rather they look not with the physical eyes, and they look with a mind that is not attached to any specific need of their own. And they have learned to ask the mystery of creation, what is this thing? And what is it for? And they have come to see that the rain itself, to use an example, is symbolic of consciousness and creation itself. They look upon even a chair or a person or a blade of grass, and they look past the perception they have learned to inquire directly what this thing is and what it is for. And resting in the purity of mind, resting in the neutrality of mind, a different process occurs. For there is no impulse arising from within their own separative consciousness, their own individual mind, their own egoic state of being, believing they need something, and therefore the world becomes that which fulfills what they need. They therefore project no value upon what they see, but they await a value to be given from some source deeper than the mind associated with personal history and with body itself. And from that deep neutrality of mind something indeed is revealed. And yet what is revealed is not of the world, for what is revealed is a radiance, the reflection of a grand mystery, a symbol of the laws of consciousness itself in its universal rather than its personal nature. The rain becomes that which brings sustenance to creation. The rain becomes a symbol of how gently and easily the grace of a perfect love descends and is given to any who would but receive it. The rain becomes a symbol of that which is purely innocent, yet gives itself to be perceived and experienced as the receiving mind would choose. Likewise, a person is not looked upon according to his or her history, is not looked upon according to whether or not the body is pretty enough to be taken to bed for sex. The body is not looked upon as being large enough or strong enough to bowl over several smaller bodies, and then you will give them a contract with big golden coins. A person is not looked upon as something which is, what is your word, utilitarian, that is, able to perform a certain function, able to fulfill some need for yourself. And therefore what begins to shine forth through that person, your brother or sister, is not their individuality, that is, not their foibles, not their personality structure, but light, but the presence of the mystery of consciousness itself, which arises as a gentle wave from the ocean of mind that is without beginning and without end. Why is this important? Because as you go through your day, you believe you are directly experiencing what is, and you are absolutely certain that what is outside of you, the person, the chair, the rain, any perceived thing, is outside of you. You have not yet truly learned to understand, to comprehend deep in the cellular structure itself. For the body is a knowing mechanism. It is the way in which you attract energy to yourself. It is that through which you project the energy of your mind. It's the meeting place of inner and outer, just as the skin is the meeting ground of what is within and what is without. You believe that what you are perceiving and therefore knowing is something outside of you that is etched in stone. It is defined. It is complete, and you know it. And yet again I say unto you, not in any moment whatsoever do you ever see or perceive anything except that which you project upon it, until, through the use of vigilance and mastery of the keys of the kingdom of desire, intention, allowance, and surrender, until the mind is retrained to rest at peace, wanting nothing, needing nothing, knowing not what a single thing is for. Only then does the mind become capable of receiving a higher knowing, a higher intuition. Only then does the body begin to restructure itself so that its deeper, more latent possibilities arise, called third sight for one, to begin to perceive an object through the senses of the body, to feel a color, to hear an object that the ears cannot hear. The body itself is an incredible mechanism for joining with and experiencing all of creation. But what blocks you from being able to hear a color is what you are choosing to project upon creation by deciding that you have already know what a thing is and what it is for. That is my pet, and my pet is to give me companionship. It is to please me. And if therefore the pet acts in this way that is not pleasing, anger arises and the world is a mess. This one is my employer, and my employer is a utilitarian device to assist me in doing what I think I must do to create money to survive as much as I can. And therefore, when the employer says, I'm going through some sort of spiritual crisis and I won't be able to be in on Wednesday morning, immediately frustration arises because what the employer values is the production of the useless items of your culture, by and large, and therefore there is something wrong with the employee, and perhaps we should replace this thing that does not seem to understand what it is and what it is for. How many times in each of your days do you believe that which you perceive around you is not fulfilling its function? Which means, of course, that it's not quite fitting in to what you have projected upon it. How often in each of your relationships are you so certain that the other has forgotten their place and is therefore disrupting your world? And yet how often have you truly learned to forgive yourself for what you have believed your brother or sister is and what they are for? How many times have you relinquished your own ideas of what creation is and what it is for, to rest into that place of neutrality where one's own ignorance is accepted and embraced, loved, and trusted, that place in which there is a suspension of the projection of your own valuation? How often in any given day do you rest in the peace that forever passes all understanding and ask of something unseen? What is this for? What is the meaning and purpose of this moment? What would you have me see shining through the chair, the rain, my brother and my sister? For I say unto you, the eye of the needle is found at the source of your own consciousness. The way of a spiritual life is not found outside of you, but within you, deep within the core of everything you have built up around the simplicity of an innocent mystery called creation. The way to peace, the way to a miraculous life, lies not in insisting that the world conform to what you believe it is for, and what you have believed about yourself, but rather in relinquishing all of the ideas you have learned, in relinquishing even the belief that you exist, in relinquishing the belief that you must continue in the next moment as a physical being, to look upon the most primary perceptions you carry as a consciousness that is having a third dimension or physical experience, to relinquish all of them upon the altar of your heart, to own wholly your complete ignorance. For only a mind thus emptied of itself can be taught anew. The way to peace in life, the way to mastery, the way to union with all of creation, indeed the way to a perfect and completed Christedness, lies not in trying to make or do, but in mastering the art of relinquishing, the art of resting in the humility and innocence of a divine unknowing. Father, that which is the source and creator of all, that which pervades all things, mystery shining forth from mystery, I know not what a single thing is or what it is for. I thought I did yesterday, and even in the last moment, but now I choose to relinquish all things, and rest in that perfect peace whereby, perhaps, I will be shown how to perceive, and therefore to experience anew. Herein is the path of power. Power in your world means to manipulate, to control, to get what you want. But I say this unto you, are you sure that you know what you want? Or what you want, is this not resting on what you believe you must have? And what you must have, is this not a belief and perception that rests on your prior determination about what the world is and what you are? If you do not know yourself, how can you know what you need and what you want? Therefore, beloved friends, we begin to ask of you to be determined to utilize your experience of each moment as an opportunity to bring vigilance to the mind by choosing to acknowledge your complete state of ignorance in each and every moment. For he who says that he knows probably knows not, and he that says, I know that I know not, probably knows. Contemplate that phraseology, for within it is much wisdom. The first is the expression of the conscience of the world. For all you need do is to sit upon a park bench and watch your world drive by and walk by. And everybody knows what they're doing, where they are going, why, and of course it's important. But only that one that knows he knows not rests for a moment upon the park bench and says, Father, what would this day be? Teach me, show me, I know nothing. For the one who knows nothing rests in humility, and then is free to marvel at that which he or she is guided to do, and that which is revealed to their consciousness. For only when the mind is released from projecting can it become an empty vessel in which it can receive the radiance of a mystery shining forth from the mind of God through each and all created things. The way of awakening, then, is the way of acknowledgment of one's perfect ignorance. The way of peace requires the relinquishing of all of one's ideas, for only then can the mind be taught anew. So let's begin with something quite simple. Just where do you think you are right now? Think about it for a moment and be honest with yourself. When you sat down and placed this tape within your little machine, were you not already operating from a place of consciousness that said, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm in my house, I'm in my car, the weather is such and such. I have only so much time, and oh my goodness, shouldn't the government be doing this, and shouldn't that be happening? What about that athletic event? What a dummy to fall on this butt because it was raining, and now the game is lost, and therefore I'm depressed. All of these things are going through your mind. You put the tape in, and you've already decided you're going to hear something that either will uplift you or make you think. Perhaps you've already decided that you're going to be hearing me communicating through this, my beloved brother. Rest assured, in the future you will have some surprises. You have already decided what is before you begin it. You have already decided how to approach the experience by turning on your thinking analytical mind, so that you've heard the words in the sentence and therefore believe that they will come to understanding. But I say unto you, there are some among you who have learned how to move into ignorance and innocence. And when these words are spoken, you do not so much hear them as see pictures. You feel them rather than think about them. You receive insight from the silence between the words. You feel a transmission of energy that you could never explain to anyone because it has nothing at all to do logically with the formation of little sounds you call words to which you have already ascribed meaning. Although you seem to be listening to a tape, you are already in a quality of consciousness that transcends the normal process of listening and analyzing and drawing conclusions. It has been said that the meek will inherit the earth. What does that word truly mean then? The meek are those who have learned the futility of their learning. The meek are those who know and accept that there is only mystery arising. The meek are those who know they are not what they thought they were. The meek are those who wait in each moment for revelation to occur. The meek are those who smile at the futility and insanity of acting in the world as if they knew what a thing is and what it's for. They wait on divine consciousness. They wait on a purity that emanates from the source of being that can shine through them and reveal to them moment to moment what the purpose of any moment is. Any master, any true master, is one of the meek. For mastery does not rest on the accumulation of knowledge. Mastery rests in divine ignorance, in which true knowledge shines forth. The knowledge that would radiate through your mind from the mind of God. The knowledge that would enlighten even the sensory mechanism of the body so they receive what is being transmitted from all created objects in ways that transcend ordinary knowing, seeing, and hearing. So look around you, right where you are. You think you know what time it is, and therefore perhaps you think you're supposed to still be in bed. You know what time it is, and so perhaps you are supposed to be hurrying out of the door to get to some kind of a job that you think is going to provide you with what you want, because what you want is linked to what you think you need, and what you need is linked to your beliefs that you must survive into the next moment in a certain way of lifestyle. Or perhaps you believe that if you did not have that job, that the whole universe would collapse around you and not support you whatsoever, and therefore, of course, reality is that you must be on your way out the door to get your specific job, even if the job is not your heart's desire. Do you see how all it works? Somewhere in the depth of your mind, you have taken on perceptions about what things are and what they are for, including your body, your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, and from these, deeply embedded, deeply habituated, you have decided what you need to fit what you believe to be true. And from what you need, you project impulses on what you want. And what you want determines how you will see every object and every person, every drop of rain and every wisp of cloud, and every chair around you. But again I say unto you, meekness truly begins with a complete recognition that you don't know what you truly want, unless you have come to a place where there is a silent voice calling within you that says to you, I want God. I want peace. I want to come home. Earlier I asked you if you knew where you were, and I say this unto you. If you believe you are sitting in a chair, if you believe you know what time it is, if you believe you know what this day is to mean for you, you do not know where you are. You literally do not know where you are. Would it not be wise, if you're going to act in any given day, to at least begin to contemplate the simplicity of the question, is it not wise to first know where I am, before I decide what I will do? The human mind believes it knows where it is, and yet where it is within the complex of insane notions and fearful perceptions, it is made an error to replace the simplicity of the reality of being in the mind of God, unlimited forever, totally supported and provided for in each moment. If you knew where you were truly, if all of humanity knew where it was, the world as you know it would stop dead in its track and soon cease to be. That which is called Wall Street wouldn't even open in the morning. No one would go to the great halls of government. Many of you would never set foot in what you call an automobile again. Do you know what would occur? First, there would be a delight in waking to watch the first rays of light shine forth from the sun, mystery of mysteries, and to begin to touch the gentleness of the earth. Your delight of the morning would be to discern the subtle qualities of how light changes the coloration of the world around you. And you would tune in and feel the vibratory quality of how nature around you begins to wake up with each coming day. You would hear the sound of a leaf coming to life in the morning, not through the ears, but through the very skin of your body. You would delight in allowing your awareness to touch and caress and embrace each created thing in that moment. Perhaps you would be moved to plant seeds within the soil, or perhaps to harvest what you had previously planted. You might be called to join with your neighbors in singing and dancing or in quiet prayer. You would be so amazed at what is unfolding around you, within you, that your mind would not be able to analyze, compare, contrast, and judge. You would be too blown away by the incredible, powerful mystery that creation is, and you would know beyond all doubt that this day you will be provided all that you need, and that your daily bread will come to you. Daily bread is not just what you stuff down the mouth of your body. It is emotional nurturance. It is play, it is laughter, it is fulfillment. There are many levels of daily bread, and yet it falls upon your shoulder like the drops of soft spring rain without ceasing, manna from heaven. You would be so immersed in the contemplation of the mystery of God, who is but love, that never would a fearful thought arise, never would a judgmental thought arise, never, never would you actually believe that you know what a thing is and what it is for. You would delight in allowing these things to be revealed to you. And so I ask you to compare the definition, that picture, with how humanity lives, and then ask yourself, does humanity know where it is? Do I know, as a part of humanity, where I am? Am I willing in this moment to completely relinquish all ideas I have ever had about what anything is and what it's for, and therefore what its meaning is, what its usefulness is? Can I choose to rest in the place of neutrality and to allow something beyond myself to teach me anew? So if you are standing, I want you to sit, and if you are sitting, remain where you are, now that the phrase has no meaning. Truly feel the fabric of the object you are sitting upon. Feel it. Open the cells of the body and allow the vibrational quality of where you are sitting to penetrate into your beingness. Let the skin be an organism for hearing and not just for feeling. Can you hear the note being sung by the thing upon which you are sitting? All things contain consciousness or life, for all of creation is but life itself, and therefore there is wisdom and intelligence radiating through each and every created form. Feel the quality of vibration. Does a color come into your mind? Not the color of the fabric necessarily, but the color of the vibration represented by this object. Is it a color that you like? Does it feel good where you are? Rest assured, if it does not, get rid of that object and give to someone else in need, and procure for yourself that which creates a vibration that brings you a pleasure beyond the ego. Begin to bring into your life those things, whether a chair, a flower, whether a pen, the color of paper that you use. Let all things begin to reflect and exude toward you that which reminds you of the infinite creativity, the infinite loveliness, the infinite quality of vibration of peace, beauty, and mystery, the quality of God's presence. If you now have clothing upon your body, feel it for just a moment. Feel the fabric of the clothing on your body. Who told you you needed to wear that? Who told you that you needed that color or that style? Does it truly resonate with you? Does it feel natural? Does it come from the earth, or has man made up his own fabric that you now place upon the body? For I say unto you, that which is not come forth from nature, left untampered, blocks certain frequencies that are emitted from the natural world, from your Mother Earth. Therefore it is always wise to use the most natural fabrics upon your body. Does it express beauty and wholeness to you, or is it something that you made do with because it saved you golden coins? And if you buy something to save you golden coins, are you not telling yourself that you live in a universe of lack and you have no power within yourself to bring abundance into your life? And if you have no power to bring abundance into your life, are you not saying that your Creator has created you limited and unworthy of creation? Everything you see around you in this moment is a reflection and a symbol of what you have believed is true about creation and about yourself. Well, I don't mean to become quite so forceful, but it is time for the truth to penetrate consciousness, for soon the earth will no longer tolerate any vibrations of consciousness that does not radiate and resonate with light, beauty, freedom, and innocence, and play and unlimitedness. Therefore, if you would change the world, change your mind. And if you would change your mind, relinquish all of your own ideas. For those of you in relationships are those of you that create a relationship, even if you must run an ad and say that you'd pay $10 for your golden coins per day for someone to be a temporary friend. In other words, if you can find another to be in a relationship with, a very valuable exercise is just this. Sit with someone, look into each other's eyes, place the hands upon whatever you're sitting on, possibly the floor or chair, whatever, look into each other's eyes, and each of you admit to the other the truth about yourself. What will first happen is that you will begin to say, well, my name is so-and-so. I live in such and such a place, and I had these parents, and oh my God, and I have these skills. None of that is the truth of who you are. The truth of who you are is that you don't know who you are, and you don't know what you are for. You are in a state of complete divine ignorance, and you can prove it to yourself in this way. Look upon the person sitting across from you for at least 2 or 3 minutes, and then tell them the thought that is occurring in your mind in this moment. You'll find that 99.99999% of the time you're totally wrong. Ask them to do the same gesture, to change your body language, and then tell them what you are trying to express. You will discover again that they can fool you any time they want. Do you know what a thing is and what it's for? Do you really know what's occurring in any given moment? My reply to you is that you do not, as long as you are relying on your own thoughts and ideas. After doing this exercise with each other for a few moments, then practice resting in the neutrality of your own ignorance. Father, I know not what a thing is or what it is for. Then they ask the other person to hold a certain thought within their mind. It could be a picture of a pink elephant. It could be anything. As you rest in your ignorance, giving up all hopes of knowing what is, what it's for, what needs to be communicated, you might just find that you begin to realize that some idea is being predominant in your mind. It could be outlandish. It could be a pink elephant. And then simply say to your friend, I think you're holding the thought of a pink elephant, or that your body language is conveying a certain thought. Through this practice, you'll refine your ability to receive knowledge in a new way. And as you refine that, you will find yourself in a state of what is called cosmic consciousness, or Christed consciousness, where you have so mastered the relinquishing of your own idea that what is truly real, and what holds purpose in the moment, is revealed into your consciousness moment by moment by moment. Even it concerns someone who's on the other side of the planet. And then when you ask within, what should I do with this? The Holy Spirit tells you, and you will know when to speak and when not to speak, when to act and when not to act. Resting into the quiet of your own unknowing allows life to reveal itself through you and to you. But what is revealed will not be perceived as your own, and you will understand that you can take no credit for what unfolds through you. And you will say, as I once said, why do you call me good even when miracles are done through me? There is none good but God. I am but a channel of the mystery of life. I am empty. There is no one at home. And when there is no one, there is everyone. And when there is nothing, there is everything. And when you are empty, you shall be filled. And when you are at peace, you will know the meaning of power. And when you want nothing, you will have all things. And when you need nothing, you will know the meaning of freedom. Beloved friends, contemplate well what is shared this day, for it is time to truly bring vigilance to the mind. Recognize that as you go through your day, everything you think you perceive is a reflection of where you have allowed your conscience to reside, either in the attitudes and beliefs that you have learned in the world, which will show you only what is insanely unreal, or in the quiet neutrality and peace of your divine and perfect ignorance. We will spend much time together moving more deeply into this understanding, and into that which helps facilitate your return to ignorance. For consider this, the meek are the masters of creation, and yet they seem to know nothing at all. And each and every moment of their existence is given over to the practice of the keys of the kingdom, desiring only perfect union with God, setting the intention of relinquishing all ideas of their own, practicing the key of allowing, resting into neutrality so that life might reveal itself to them and through them. And finally, surrendering every trace of belief that there is something inside your body called yourself that is uniquely yours, that you must take care of, and it must get what it wants, the hungry little ghost called the ego. Surrender means to awaken to the reality that there has never been anyone where you are except the presence of Christ. When you know yourself, you will know that you are all things. You will know that you are empty, that there's no one home, that there is only life living itself. You will have learned that it is not by striving but by relinquishing that the kingdom is revealed, and you will discover that you've always been at home. Contemplate well these things then, and by all means bring lightness and humor to it. Laugh at yourself. Laugh at the self you thought you were. Whenever you believe you need something to be a certain way, slap your thigh. That would be a good use of it at any rate, and laugh and tell yourself, my God, I actually thought I needed something to happen in a certain way. The joke is on me. and then the wisdom of how things are unfolding can reveal itself to you. And when you know that there is wisdom flowing through the creation of each moment, you just might make the decision to once again trust life. And life is but love radiating forth from the mind of God, and that is where you are sitting right now. Peace then be unto you, beloved and precious friends. Amen. So ends Ignorance is Bliss.